Alright, so getting straight into today's video, we actually had Studio Zach, who is a developer for Dress to Impress, do like a unofficial Q&A in the chat in the official Dress to Impress Discord server, and honestly some of the questions that were asked by some of the people in the server were like really interesting, and Zach almost replied to everything. So I spent like the past 3 hours trying to find all of the questions and his answers, and I'm just gonna be reading them out to you guys. But I do want to make a little disclaimer because I know a lot of you guys may be complaining why I have a watermark over these screenshots. Basically, in case you have not been watching my videos, I did briefly mention in one of my videos that there is a few channels on YouTube who transcribe my videos and just re-upload them in a different language, and they obviously take screenshots of my videos and just re-upload whatever I uploaded just in a different language, which is really upsetting. It definitely feels like they're just piggybacking of my work and effort, so watermark it is. Anyway, straight to the video. Alright, so for some context about this one, a lot of people have been really inquisitive on whether we're going to be getting the petal dress code back, and for those that have not redeemed it, if there's going to be a chance for them to redeem it again. And Zach replied with, "Hi, we've talked about a sister version of the petal dress. The problem is that the community has expressed the dislike for time-sensitive codes, but we found out that the community also expressed that time-sensitive makes it more exclusive. We're still on the fence about it, but we're looking into it." Moving on, someone else asked about the dressing boots because for some time the developers have been talking about removing it, but Zach replied with, "We ran a community poll and the players still really like the dressing brooms. Now, no reason to turn it into a button anymore." I'm actually so confused that no one is talking about the unexpected comeback of Gigi after she appeared in Lady Gaga's server, and the worst part is that her name is carved on one of the pumpkins in the lobby area. Like, can we get some explanation? Gigi is an active member of our development and the owner of Dress to Impress. She is the reason that we have this game today. I understand your concern with things that have happened in the past, but I can assure you that our team took proper action. Our team achievements are her achievements and they will be treated as such. I hope you understand. What happened to those items way back from the petal update, the ones where it was set that they had a mirror headpiece, and I think they're referring to these ones over here. Zach replied with, "Some items just don't make the cut to be put inside an update. Sadly, our team has learned not to sneak peek things unless we know that they are coming into the game, so I'm sorry about that, maybe one day." Someone asked if they're gonna ever collab with like very famous brands, and Zach replied with, "I don't see why there wouldn't be a collab with some high fashion brands, would be super fun." The next few messages from Zach that I'm gonna be showing you guys are really important, so you guys listen up. It is about the body pass. We had someone complain that the body pass demotivated them, which I'm sure is a sentiment that a lot of you guys agree with. Zach replied with, "I'm sorry that happened. I promise we're working on ways to make it better each time we release one." Then he later said that there's not going to be a winter body pass, and then a few messages down I came across a TikTok that the official Dress to Impress TikTok account actually liked, and before that there was another comment by Zach that said there won't be a body pass in the winter update. We aren't saying we are never doing one again, just not in the next update. And this is the screenshot that I'm talking about. So someone asked if there's going to be a daily calendar and not a body pass, and they liked it, as you guys can see. So there is not going to be a body pass. I don't know about an advent calendar, like a daily calendar. I assume they would have added one already, but they haven't. Maybe they're going to be adding it later on when we're going to be like closer to the actual Christmas date. I'm not too sure. This is a very important question for new players. I don't know. Regarding the free seasonal clothings, will they be available in the chests even though the player didn't join during that time? I don't know what this person was thinking, no hate. This feels super unfair for new players. It holds them back from experiencing a lot of free clothes just because they didn't play during that time. Your fault. I don't really like this question. And Zach replied with exactly what I wanted him to reply with, and he said, "No, we lock seasonal items to players who play the update as an achievement or act of exclusiveness. Another reason why we don't give every player update items is because it can become overwhelming with how fast we update. That's why we've started to bring back items from recent seasonal updates. Can you do a DTI 2025 rewind?" And Zach replied with maybe. Then later on Twitter, he actually posted this, which is a link to the 2024 rewind video, and he said, "I can feel the presence coming." So I feel like that kind of confirms that there is going to be a rewind for 2025. And for those that don't really know what this whole thing is, it is basically a video that they make where they talk about all the achievements for Dress to Impress and just all the collabs that they had, how many players played in 2025, etc. So it's just like a little video compiling all of their achievements, which is so sweet to look at, and I'm definitely going to be comparing the two because Dress to Impress has grown so much in such a short amount of time. Honestly, I was debating on whether or not I should actually include this comment from someone in today's video because it comes across quite rude in my opinion, but they have said, I really hope you hold community votes/polls on issues like this. It would help avoid backlash, see what the majority of the community actually wants. And Zach replied with, we're actively listening to the community. We took lots of valuable feedback from the first body pass and we have lots of feedback from the most recent one. Our first body pass was probably on the ground with how bad it was, so the only way is up. And I want to highlight something that honestly deserves a lot of respect, and that is the message that Zach replied with. So the message actually sent to Zach was, in my opinion, very commanding, you know, like borderline hostile in my opinion. And as someone, you know, as a content creator who deals with very blunt comments like that every single day, I know exactly how draining that tone can be, but I do really respect how Zach didn't match that energy. You know, he didn't get defensive, he didn't clap back, he just responded so professionally with actual grace, and he acknowledged past mistakes, reassured, you know, the player or whoever else was looking at his reply that the team is listening, and kept the conversation respectful. And on top of that, I feel like people just forget that the developers are humans too, and you know, they work under pressure, they get hit with criticism constantly on every single social media platform, and they're still expected to stay positive, which honestly is a lot of strength. So choosing maturity in a situation like this takes real strength, and that deserves recognition in my opinion. So regardless of anyone's frustration with Dress to Impress right now, I feel like Zach handled that moment just the right way, and it's definitely worth acknowledging in my opinion. I said a long time ago that we won't add a option to save hairstyle combos, but stay tuned. For some context, a really long time ago, it must have been like last year, over on Twitter, someone asked if they will add a feature where you can save hair combos just like you can save face combos, or like your faces that you make with custom makeup. And he originally said no, that this feature will not be coming, but now he's saying the opposite, that this option might be coming, because he said stay tuned. That's all that I can say about that right now. Would there ever be a way to add mobility aids like wheelchairs or prosthetics into the game as items? I'm physically disabled and models with physical disabilities are already so underrepresented. I and probably a lot of other people would love to see myself represented in DTI. I said a long time ago that I was worried if we added mobility aids that people would misuse them. A lot of players have educated me since then, so I would love to see mobility aids in DTI. Everyone should feel represented, and not sure if there is a plan within our team right now, but I know that we wouldn't be opposed. Our team would love to add LGBTQ patterns. The problem is that a lot of countries don't accept LGBT, so our game would be hidden in those countries, and a lot of our players will lose access to that game. You know, we've tried to have secret callouts, but it's really difficult. It's a really difficult line to walk on. I was scrolling through social media and soon saw something. Is it true that we have to pay for the diamond pass every month? No, we don't have a continuous body pass, so you don't pay every month. If we choose to continue the diamond body pass, which we have not spoken about yet, then most likely it would need to be paid for again. We thought about a vote kick button, but since our game has a very clear objective to win, it would become very misused. I'll bring this up with our team and see if we can do something about people going AFK. The plus size bodies. They promised to add them to the game at the end of this year, beginning of 2026, and we've heard nothing about them. They made concepts, but nothing about them was actually brought up again until a few days ago. Someone asked, is it possible we'll get the plus size bodies in the winter update? No, I'm sorry, we're trying to work on getting close to fit mask and better mask clothing before working on plus size bodies and clothing. We really don't want to release the plus size bodies and give them only like 4 to 6 options of clothing. When the time is right, we will make sure to show everyone. And another person just wanted an update on the plus size bodies. In full transparency, there are no updates worth sharing with the plus size bodies as of right now. We want the items to work on the male rigs, and once we're comfortable with where we are at, we will start sharing updates regarding the plus size bodies. That is everything that they have mentioned since last year about the plus size bodies, because I'm pretty sure they mentioned that they're going to be adding them and made actual concepts at the beginning of this year, and this is the first time we were hearing anything about them. Now, I have a hot take about his reply, which I'm going to be making a separate video talking about it because I don't want to make this video too long. There was a lot of information that you guys had to absorb, so I don't want to like overload you guys with even more information, so it's going to be a separate video for a separate day. And so if you want to hear what I personally think about these plus size bodies and his replies and just Zach's reply and attitude about this, definitely subscribe and turn that bell on so that you get notified whenever I upload. Alright, so honestly this video was not as long as I thought it would be, but these were all of the most important answers that came across from Zach, which I really wanted to discuss in a video so that you guys are aware of them too, in case you don't have Discord, because I understand that a lot of you guys are pretty young and you're not allowed to be on Discord, which if you're not allowed to be on there, I do not encourage you to go on there and create an account. Obviously, I will be making a video anytime there is anything new that comes out on there. But definitely let me know what you guys think about some of these replies. Are you happy with some of the things that Zach has mentioned? I honestly don't think that Zach is watching this video, but if you are, thank you so much for answering some of the questions that the community had. Honestly, it's so important to have transparency in such communities, and it definitely makes us really excited for some of the features and updates coming to Draft Student Press when there is this kind of communication happening between the community and the developers. And it's also obviously really fun to see some of the behind the scenes of what is happening that obviously we won't know about as a player. Anyway guys, this is all for today's video. Make sure you're staying hydrated and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.